Does our body and the actions that come from it serves as a specific function? Well, it's not entirely true. Even with how advanced medical science is in modern times, there are still a number of things about the human body that are still in question. So today we will look at 20 mysteries still unsolved about the human body and mind. Male nipples. Although male don't breastfeed, it is still questioned why do men have them. Interestingly enough, people suggest that babies all start out as female and will take up to 8 weeks before the baby embryo gets testosterone that will influence other male-specific traits around the body. Pubic hair. Have you ever wondered why you have a good amount of hair around your genitals? It is still a biological mystery, but many suggest that it acts as a barrier to reduce friction during sex and to keep our genitals warm. Human glow. Ever captured a firefly before and wonder what makes it glow? Well, it is a result of chemical reaction within their cells. All living creatures, including ourselves, produce and emit the small amount of light. However, this light does not serve any purpose to us, since it can't even be seen to the naked eye. Consciousness. It allows us to tell when we're awake and what we are thinking. However, it does not give any solid explanation of why or how it does. Hypnic jerk. An involuntary twitch that occurs just as a person is beginning to fall asleep, and often accompanied by a falling sensation. 70% of the population have this experience, and science can explain why this happens. Some suggest that this could be an ancient reflex to alarm that a sleeping primate is falling out of a tree. Intelligence. Something that can be defined in many ways and couldn't fairly be measured. We still have not uncovered as to how the neurons in our brain solve problems and explain why some are smarter than others. Blushing. Have your face ever turned red after being caught in a lie or put into an awkward situation or even an embarrassing position? Studies still have no clear explanation as to why we blush in those situations. However, scientists suggest that blushing is a way to make people lie less. Deja vu. Everyone probably have experienced this phenomenon before. When in that moment, whatever you're doing, it feels like you have done it before. It is hard to study the occurrence because of how unpredictable it can be. Laughter. Why is it that we laugh, and for what purpose? Although it is still unclear as to why, scientists believe that it is essential to balance the mental process, like relieving stress and worries. Autism, a neurological disorder that causes language and social problems. This disorder has skyrocketed in the past few decades, and 1 out of every 100 people have autism. Studies suggest that parts of the brain becomes overly stimulated, and this is caused by abnormal fast growth of the brain in childhood. Dark matter, a biological dark matter that exists and comprises 95% of the human genome, and science can't explain why we had this. This biological dark matter couldn't even be categorized in our 3 domains of life that consist of animals, bacteria, and viruses. Dreams. People still don't know why exactly. When sleeping, 25% of it is spent dreaming. At first, psychologist Freud suggests that dreams are a reflection of our unconscious desire. However, today, most scientists believe that dreams occur as a result of random electrical activities in our brain. Hiccups. Everyone had experienced this annoying and sometimes persistent involuntary muscle action, including myself. After eating too fast, you'll have the hiccups, but for what purpose? Some suggest that it could be a bizarre evolutionary trait from the past. Also, tadpoles, when breathing underwater, exhibit hiccup-like movements and has been suggested to provide as clues to why we have hiccups. Music. It can trigger emotions and physical reactions. But why? Theory suggests that music can trigger these emotions because they are imitating speech or body movements. Sneezing. Have you ever sneezed after looking into bright lights? Well, 1/3 of the people's sneezes are caused by it. Some suggest that it could be a neurological mix-up between the sneezing reflex and the light stimuli. Kissing. Why do we kiss, and when the practice even began? Well, there are several ideas and theories of why, but they are not satisfying answers. The most reasonable theory is that it comes from primate mothers passing along chew food to their toothless babies. Since then, the practice has transformed into a way for humans to figure out if they are compatible with their mates. How this practice came to be is still unclear. Nose picking. Ever sat next to someone in class that will constantly pick their nose, or even you do it yourself? Obviously, we pick our nose to get rid of filth that is irritating us. But what about those who eat it? Few researchers honestly believe that eating it will have a good impact on our immune system. Also, some psychologists said that nasal massage could boost brain activity. Super smell. Strangely enough, females can realize that they're pregnant by developing a heightened sense of smell. Now, as far as for why, there's no proven reason, but some suggest that it prevents women from inhaling harmful fumes that could affect their baby's health. Lefties. Have you ever noticed that there are very little people that use their left hands instead of their right, and why? Interestingly enough, there are only about 10% of the world's population that are left-handed, and not even scientists know why. Yawning. Did you know that there are antibiotics out there that can cause you to have an orgasm when you yawn? If you were to ask someone next to you, why do we yawn? They will say it's because we're getting tired. But there is no one reason for why we yawn. Yawns have been studied for as long as 2,500 years and have been linked to things like sexual arousal and communications.